lot of black women that are really going after him
Yeah.
every single day, being a white woman.
I see it all the time.
Yeah, how do you do? Are you scared of him? I mean, how do you deal with that?
No.
You will be surprised at how many celebrity couples started with an affair. While cheating in relationships can bring a sour taste to the parties involved, some of your celebrity pairs got together through this unlikely means. The couple may look glamorous and perfect, but they started their love story while still being involved with other people. You'd be dazzled that many of them are still going strong. Let's dive in and count down 15 couples who started with affairs and how they are doing today. Number 15, Eddie Cibrian and Leanne Rimes. Eddie and Rimes were a picture-perfect Hollywood couple. Although their relationship brought a lot of controversy, they've stood against all odds and insisted on their love for each other. The country singer Leanne Rimes and CSI Miami actor Eddie Cibrian explored the waves and took a chance on love after meeting on the set of the 2008 Lifetime movie Northern Lights. During their work together, a new relationship blossomed. Their union wouldn't have called as much attention if they weren't involved with other parties. Rimes married former dancer and chef Dean Sharamet, and Eddie was betrothed to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Brandi Glanville. He thought he had found his lover until Rimes came along. She unlocked emotions he never knew existed. He recalled not understanding love, respect, and friendship while involved with his previous partner. His bad boy persona would normally try to get intimate with all the ladies he encountered before navigating the situation, but it was different with Rimes. They connected and enjoyed a lovely friendship that transcended from the movie set to their private lives. It was the moment they both saw the possibility of being with each other. After deciding hand in hand, they crossed the line by defying their other love interest. Years later, Rimes spoke about regrets and everything in between. She said, "I take responsibility for everything I've done. I hate that people got hurt," Rimes told People, "but I don't regret the outcome." Despite media scrutiny during the first 5 years of their union, Eddie and Rimes lived a normal couple. They've shared many phases and have held on strong through thick and thin. They may have hurt others by being together, but who sets these standards? They believe in fighting for love no matter what. Hold on tight as we take a deeper dive into this list. Number 14, Jazelle Bundchen and Tom Brady. Jazelle and Brady stormed several red carpets as a power couple, but they began with an illicit affair. The first time they met, she couldn't get enough of him. Speaking with Vogue in 2009, "I knew right away the first time I saw him. He smiled and I thought, that is the most beautiful, charismatic smile I've ever seen. We sat and talked for 3 hours. I had to go home for Christmas but didn't want to leave." 2 months after their magical meeting, she discovered he was expecting a child with his former girlfriend and actress Bridget Moynihan. Nursing a heartbreak while pregnant was traumatic for Bridget, but years later, they all learned to navigate their relationship. After a few ups and downs, Jazelle, Brady, and Bridget are one big happy family. Number 13, Blake Shelton and Miranda Lambert. Blake Shelton and Miranda Lambert's love story might be cliché, but it's one for the books. They got paired at a concert and sang a duet, and it pretty much kicked off from there. The lovebirds couldn't help falling for each other even though they didn't intend to. Blake Shelton married Kaynette Williams, but that didn't stop Miranda's feelings for him. Despite all she knew, there was no turning back for her. "I knew he was married. I had seen their wedding pictures in Country Weekly. I knew better, like, this is off limits. My parents are private investigators, for God's sake. I've seen this my whole life. Affairs, and of all people to know better, I know better than this." Her beautiful confession didn't stop her from pursuing Blake. What they say is true. Love knows no boundaries. Blake Shelton also had eyes for her when they met in 2005. After their rendition of "You're the Reason God Made Oklahoma," people could sense that something was going on between them. They married in 2011, but their love couldn't stand the test of time. The cracks in their marital foundation became visible in an unflattering way. They called it quits after a 2015 divorce. It was one of the most heartbreaking divorces in history. The couple had a tough divorce moment that resulted in a lot of bad blood and unresolved tension between them. Their feud lasted for years after they parted ways. They might have found new people, but fans still wonder what happened to Blake and Miranda. They were once ready to give up all for each other. Wasn't the future as they had hoped? Although they were seen as the golden couple, they had their fair share of marital crises. Blake had many allegations of infidelity, including an affair with rising singer Katie Groves in 2011. The singer denied the claims. Some said they had different views of children. While Blake was eager to have kids, Miranda never saw a perfect time. Other sources also alleged Miranda was into another country singer, but she refused the speculation. Blake shocked the world with their divorce news via social media on the day it was finalized. He said, "This is not the future we envisioned, and it is with heavy hearts that we move forward separately. We are real people with real lives, with real family, friends, and colleagues. Therefore, we kindly ask for privacy and compassion concerning this personal matter." Many media outlets reported conflicting reasons for their divorce. They've both moved on to other amazing partners. Miranda married Brendan McLaughlin, whom she termed the love of her life in 2019, while Blake Shelton and his new partner are the next on our list. Let's find out who he built a future with. Number 12. Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani. Blake Shelton found love with Gwen Stefani in the same year he ended his divorce from Miranda. This led many to believe that Gwen was always in the picture and one of the leading causes of their split. The reveal was shocking because the singer was also married. She was with Gavin Rossdale. They rumored that Gwen was one of his love interests while he was still with Miranda. Although many questioned their marriage decision, which happened quickly after the divorce, they couldn't deny the love between the two. Blake and Gwen had just come out of a messy divorce, and relationships were a no-go area, especially for Gwen. "We had just met, and it was chaos. Both of our lives were in complete turmoil, all over the ground. Nothing could save us at that point. This is insane. I already have enough problems. This is not happening anymore. We're not going to text or anything." They were both going through the worst moments when they decided to date. However, their love prevailed. Meeting at work was the best thing that happened to them. While participating in season 7 of Divorce, they grew closer and formed a friendship that set the tone for their romance. Blake always used music to get Gwen's attention. She loved writing songs, while he had many unfinished songs. It wasn't difficult to connect with her. All he had to do was mention songs. After her divorce, she wasted no time getting together with Blake. She wanted to share in that happiness she'd always seen. Their first reveal as a couple was on the red carpet of Vanity Fair's Oscar party in 2016, and they got married at Blake's ranch in Oklahoma in July 2021. The country singer shared with Billboard the positive impact Gwen had on his life. "Gwen saved my life. Who else on earth could understand going through a high-profile divorce from another musician? You can't even imagine the similarities in our divorces." This couple found their way to each other after being with other partners. Despite divorce rumors, Blake and Gwen are still very much in love. When you're in love and have truly aligned values, nobody can get to us. You can say whatever you want to say about our relationship. I mean, a week ago, we were getting divorced again or something. It's just lies. The truth is the truth, and we know what that is, Gwen said. The couple has shown up for each other in inspiring ways. If this couple surprised you, check out the next one on the list. Number 11. Britney Spears and Kevin Federline. Kevin went from being a backup dancer for Britney to her lover. Their affair was a scandal as Kevin was expecting his second child with Shar Jackson. A few months into their affair, they got engaged and married. They had 2 children together but ended up in a messy divorce. Britney admitted to making mistakes in her 2008 documentary. "I married for the wrong reasons. Instead of following my heart and doing something that made me really happy, I just did it for the idea of everything." Let's look at the next celebrity couple whose affair turned into a tabloid-worthy love story. Number 10. Tori Spelling and Dean McDermott. The movie Mind Over Murder was one of the biggest successes of our time. At the center of this media frenzy were Dean McDermott and Tori Spelling. The co-stars began a relationship during filming, while married to Mary Jane Eustace and Charlie Shanayan, respectively. Tori revealed they got intimate the first time they met. Their series of late-night rendezvous led to separation from their spouses. They found a new version of happiness with each other and decided to marry, but it didn't last for long, as they eventually parted ways with a rough divorce. Number 9. Prince Charles and Camila Parker Bowles. Camila had always been the third wheel in Prince Charles's marriage to Princess Diana. Their rumored affair ultimately led to his divorce from the princess. Prince Charles maintained that he wasn't involved with Camila despite the glaring truth. Many viewers found it hard to believe that Camila became his wife and queen consort years after his marriage and coronation as King of England. Although King Charles later admitted to an affair and said he fought for his marriage until it became clear that the marriage had irretrievably broken down, many refused his claims. The next 2 affairs weren't as disastrous, but it was one for the books. Number 8. Kelsey Grammer and Kate Walsh. Kelsey and Kate might have a long-standing marriage, but their relationship had an unconventional start. The award-winning actor and comedian was still married to his former partner Camille when he began an affair with Kate Walsh. They met on a flight in 2009. Kelsey was on his way to London while she worked as a flight attendant on the plane. Their first encounter was magical and very romantic. The flight wasn't their last meeting, as they saw each other a few days later at a coffee shop and spent time in the snow during Christmas. This all happened while Camille was in the picture. The actor returned to his wife but couldn't take the flight attendant out of his memory. This led to friction in his union with Camille. In 2010, she filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. That same year, Kelsey and Kate announced their engagement. They had been engaged for a long time, but they kept the announcement to avoid bad publicity. The couple's delay didn't change public perceptions. Many called her a homewrecker. This didn't faze the actor and flight attendant, who tied the knot at the Longacre Theater in New York City the following year. In 2017, they married in a second ceremony at the Little Church of the West in Las Vegas. Kelsey recounted their wedding experience to People. "It's like it's never happened before." He said going to bed together and waking up together was the best part of their marriage. Kate also added that he was the perfect gentleman. They have a long-term relationship that has spanned decades and counting. Although many admire the type of family they have, it began with scandals and public scrutiny. Sitting with Oprah Winfrey, the couple shed light on the issues surrounding their meeting and marriage. "I'm not proud of the way we started out because he was in a marriage. I'm sorry. I have so many emotions. But I fell in love. I don't know how to word it. I don't know how to put it into words," Kate said. However, she didn't regret her actions. Though she prepared to stay off the spotlight and drama, she told Oprah she didn't waver, despite knowing the news of their relationship would blow up into a scandal. She was in love with Kelsey and ready to walk miles with him. Kelsey added that his marriage to Camille had been over for a long time, but he didn't dare to call it quits. The couple is very much in love and has since welcomed 3 children. Kelsey supports his wife's dreams by placing her in the spotlight with her role in Boss, a political drama series produced by the actor. To reaffirm his love for Katie, he got his first tattoo in her honor in 2012. The A-list actor inked her name near his groin in Chicago as an excited Kate stood beside him, offering support. Number 7. Billy Cruup and Clare Danes. Billy Cruup ended things with his pregnant wife, Mary Louise Parker, to be with Clare Danes in 2023. They were together for 4 years before they separated. Discussing their relationship, Clare said, "I was just in love with him and needed to explore that. I was also 24. I didn't quite know what those consequences would be." Number 6. Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward. Paul and Joanne's love story is one of the greatest fairy tale stories. The pair met in 1953 while Paul was married to Jackie White. They got to know each other and started an affair. 3 years later, Paul had a legal separation from Jackie and married Joanne in Las Vegas. The pair built a long-term relationship and celebrated their 50th anniversary shortly before Paul's demise in 2008. There's nothing like seeing 2 people succeed in love and marriage. Number 5. Johnny Cash and June Carter. Cash, Johnny, and June make the list of the most famous couples in music history. However, a careful peek into their marriage is an untold story of infidelity. Johnny was married to Vivian Liberto when he got involved with June. Their affair led to a painful divorce for Vivian. With nothing holding Johnny back, he asked June to marry him in 1963. Their union lasted 40 years until June's demise in 2003. Her stepdaughter, Roseanne, said she was a good example as June gave her a sense of expansiveness and showed her how to live as a performer. Look at the next celebrities on the list, whose polarizing love lives would make for an incredible movie script. Number 4. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Are there any Brad and Jolie fans out there? Didn't you just love their eccentric love story while it lasted? They were one of the most iconic couples. The movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith brought them together. In a 2008 interview with Rolling Stone, Brad said they fell in love. However, he was married to the morning show star, Jennifer Aniston. Their marriage broke not only Jennifer's heart, but also the world's. They were a Hollywood power couple, and people couldn't get over their iconic roles as Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Sadly, they divorced in 2016. Number 3. Ryan Philippe and Abby Cornish. Ryan was married to America's sweetheart, Reese Witherspoon, when sparks started flying between him and Abby Cornish. It was visible that there was some connection there as they became an item after Reese filed for divorce. Tabloids reported their alleged affair as the breakup of Reese and Ryan's marriage. When they separated, many didn't expect him to be entangled with someone else so fast. His first serious relationship after Reese was with Cornish, but even that ended when she moved out of their home in Los Angeles. They were together for 3 years before ending their relationship. Fans who had shipped their union were taken aback. There were reports that the stop-loss actress ended their relationship for good as Ryan couldn't keep it in his pants. However, the couple's representatives affirmed that their clients had terminated the union. It was hard to know who was telling the truth, with both parties insisting on their clients calling off the relationship. A close source to Cornish said, Ryan wasn't going to marry her anytime soon. He was constantly out and about and doing his own thing. Abby took control of a bad situation and ended it once the truth became clear. She told him it was over as soon as she realized Ryan wasn't taking it as seriously as she was. During the heat of their rumored breakup, Ryan was seen out and about in New York City with other female interests, while Cornish was nowhere in sight. Sources close to Ryan said he called off their relationship while she was in Australia. This happened before he visited New York, but many believed it wasn't enough justification to quickly move on with his other love interests. He regularly hit nightclubs and was linked to other women. Although Ryan might have wandering eyes, that wasn't the only issue in their union. Cornish had been working in Australia for 7 months. Within this time, they grew apart. Since then, Reese and Cornish, Ryan's love life has been in turmoil with many fleeting flings. However, he learned something from his union with Cornish. In 2011, he told Howard Stern about their split. I have a new rule: not to date anyone with a publicist. Who announces a breakup? I don't understand that. When asked the cause of their breakup, both decided to give comments, but it was evident there was no going back or reconciliation. Ryan moved on to father a child from a brief fling with Alexis Knapp in 2010. He initially denied the pregnancy claims, but a paternity test confirmed it. We guess love doesn't always work as we think. Hopefully, the next lovebirds on our list had it better. Let's see the next couple who began with affairs. Number 2, Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz. This couple has one of the wildest stories you'll ever hear. It's nice when previous partners have no strings attached, but what happens when they do? How do you deal with affairs that involve children? It's a dicey one. While Alicia says she's one big family with singer Mashonda, it wasn't always this warm and exciting. The pop star Alicia Keys met producer Swizz Beatz when they were teenagers. She recounted not finding him interesting at the time. Honestly, I didn't really like him that much. I thought he was too ostentatious. Everything with him is really over the top. I used to see him and think, he is so annoying. Despite her declaration, things got heated up when they began working together. They got into an affair while Swizz was married to Mashonda and got married in 2010. Alicia didn't mind that he was facing a terrible divorce proceeding. She wanted to be a part of his life. Mashonda, whose trust had been broken, couldn't come to terms with Alicia and her husband's relationship. But after therapy and healing, she's in a happy place. She speaks about how such a partnership is possible. The couple, Mashonda and her kids, have all found a way to make it work by spending time with each other and creating space for openness and forgiveness. We applaud them because, as lovely as it sounds, it's not always the ideal situation. Despite Alice and Swizz's betrayal, Mashonda has tried to make things work. Although she's grown through the process and captured her experience in a best-selling memoir, she said it took a toll on her. It was difficult for her to let go and settle for a reality without Swizz by her side. However, she chose a path that favored her children. Mashonda lived through a messy divorce with her parents and was miserable. She didn't want that for her kids. She wanted them to have security. As much as things had gone south between the adults, the kids shouldn't be cut in the middle. She had to make peace with Alice's relationship with her former husband. At first, her son couldn't understand the boundaries she had set to be away from the couple, and this miscommunication led to a tough start as they navigated the early stage of the relationship they now have. They've worked through it and now have a happy setting. Alice and Swizz are still together, and they have 2 children. It seems like they've truly found their sweet escape in each other, no matter how much work it takes to keep their love going behind the scenes. Number 1, Elizabeth Taylor and Eddie Fisher. Eddie, Taylor, and Debbie's love triangle looks like a story cooked up by a fiction writer, but it wasn't some dreamed-up story. The betrayal of this husband and best friend is as real as it gets. Debbie Reynolds and Eddie Fisher were in a happy marriage with 2 kids until he left her for Taylor, whom she'd always called her best friend. The singer had it all: a successful career, marriage to an actress, and beautiful kids, but he always had eyes for her friend. When he got a chance, he threw it all under the bus and married Taylor. This sounds shocking, doesn't it? Let's take you through this love triangle and how Debbie and Taylor ended on good terms. 3 of them were good friends as teenagers. Eddie met Debbie while overseas entertaining American troops during the Korean War. He was already friends with Taylor. We went to school together on the lot when she was in between films. I was just a beginner, and she and I were not in any manner alike. But we got along very well because I was in awe of going to school with Elizabeth Taylor. And if anyone said they weren't, then they were lying. Or blind. He liked young Taylor but never made advances. He focused on building his relationship with Debbie, and they eventually tied the knot in 1995. It was going great until Taylor's husband passed on. Film producer Mike Todd was involved in a plane crash. Eddie, who had been good friends with the deceased, rushed to comfort his devastated wife. He had played best man while Debbie was the maid of honor in Mike's marriage to Taylor. Going to visit her was the least he could do. However, this move led him into deeper problems that affected their lives forever. Soon, rumors of their infidelity made the rounds. It reached its height when Debbie agreed to a quick divorce so her husband and friend could get married. Everyone was against them for betraying Debbie's trust. While Eddie remained quiet, Taylor did most of the talking. Debbie told People in 2003, "I never felt bitter about Taylor. A man doesn't leave a woman for another woman unless he wants to go. When Mike Todd passed, I sent Eddie to help Elizabeth. I don't think she ever really loved Eddie. He was an interim interest during her mourning period." The scandal had an impact on their careers. It put Debbie and Taylor in the spotlight and got them box office roles. Eddie's career went downhill as his reputation got in the way of opportunities. He was hounded for leaving his wife and child for Hollywood's most glamorous actress. He spent most days in nightclubs and lounges after several of his contracts were called for morality clauses. Not long after, Taylor filed for divorce from Eddie. She began a new affair with Richard Burton, her co-star in Cleopatra. Despite them going with different partners, the rift remained. However, Debbie kept a strained relationship with Eddie, who was the father of her children. He got into 3 different affairs after Taylor. In 2010, he passed on from complications of hip surgery. Taylor also passed on in 2011, but not before resolving her differences with Debbie. She gifted her a pair of sapphire earrings, a matching bracelet, and a necklace. Before her demise, she admitted in her memoir how her 5 years' marriage to Eddie was a mistake. She also alleged mistreatment. Eddie was a great friend of Todd's. That was the only thing we had in common. I never loved Eddie. I felt sorry for him, and I liked talking to him about Mike, Taylor said in the documentary. I don't remember much about the marriage apart from that. It was one big, awful mistake, and I knew that before I got married, but I didn't know how to get out of it. Eddie, at nighttime, would sit up. He had a gun, she alleged. Every time I nearly nodded off, he would stroke my arm and say, "I'm not going to kill you. I wouldn't shoot you. You are much too pretty." All night long. Eventually, I ran from the house. I was so scared. Debbie also passed on in 2016, a day after the demise of her and Eddie's daughter, Carrie. Their love triangle was both sinister and destructive. Luckily, the 2 friends reunited before their final parting. It seems celebrities are even more likely to have affairs than normal people. Although some of these love stories lasted for decades, others fizzled out after a few years. But they all have one thing in common: they took a chance on love. Which celebrity affair tops your list? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Before you go, watch the other videos on your screen.